How is everyone doing today? It's a very important live stream just because we're at such a pivotal part in the market. I would say we got another month, 2 months, max 2.5 months to accumulate our altcoins before the market switches, and dominance starts coming down. And ultimately, we'll have an alt season. So before we get into all of this stuff, let's just see who's in the stream. Guest, good to see you, brother. Omar, good to see you as well. Jobin, Rana, Matt, Tom, how you doing, buddy? Joey, good to see you as well. How's everyone doing today? Me and the team will make millionaires. Mugen, how you doing? Mr. Fantastico, how's everyone doing today? Hoove, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you in here, Hoove. Black, Smooth, Hand, good to see all you guys. Hoove, just market buy Bitcoin and ETH and send it to the all-time highs. That's what we need to see right now. All right, so let's start with the current market update. As you guys know, some geopolitical events happened last night, hence why the market dumped and hence why dominance kind of shot back up. It's having a little retracement, but nothing goes up in a straight line. You always have, a little bit of retracements here and there. I think dominance will hit 60%, and then from there, it will decide if it wants to, potentially go even higher till the end of the year. But it all depends on when the Fed decides to, switch back into QE from QT, which they're currently in QT. And 9 times out of 10, when the Fed is in QT, at pivotal times like this, dominance tends to go up because people are uncertain, people are unsure, and what that leads to is people go to Bitcoin because the downside risk is minimum. However, you still get exposed to the upside potential. So we have to see where Bitcoin goes in the coming days. I would say weeks. I would say. Because we got unemployment on the first, like I said, if unemployment comes in hot, very likely that will come down to the low 50s, potentially even going lower, if there's some more FUD at that time. We've also got the elections, which play a massive role as well. You have a candidate that's pro Bitcoin and a candidate that's, despite what they say, is anti crypto. So that will play a pivotal part as well in the markets. That could cause a short term pump or a short term dump. That's something to watch out for. But all in all, it doesn't matter who's in office. Crypto has been around for a decade now, and it has not made no difference who was in office. It has been pumping regardless. Yeah, 64.5K is looking to play. That's probably what's going to happen, in my opinion, because it looks like this is what happens a lot of the times. I think a lot of people are still bullish, hence why every time it dumps, the market, Bitcoin shoots back up. But the altcoins struggle, and those people that's been saving the USDT, it's not a bad time to start DCA, in my opinion. Start grabbing some of the best coins. We'll make a portfolio today in some of the best coins. That because, like I said, I've already mentioned to you guys, don't keep your portfolio, saturated, too many coins. It has to be minimum coins, cover each narrative, and then the best thing to do is then move narrative to narrative. That's the best thing to do, my friend. So for now, we'll go over. I think we'll go over some of the. I think we'll make a portfolio right now. I think that's probably the best thing to do. We'll make a portfolio. Yeah, let's do that. Let me move this across. I'll do some coin reviews in a bit. I don't want to do them just right now. Give us some alpha, get us out of the matrix. That's what I'm going to do, my friend. I'm going to be dropping some new coins for you guys as well on YouTube in the coming weeks. There will be some new coins that we will look for, on YouTube as well in the coming weeks. I think 43K will be the bottom, 60 to 60% dominance before everything go up next year. I don't. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, look, if you follow this trend line and you've been following, and we get rejected up here, and then the unemployment data comes in bearish, it's very likely if we retest the bottom of the trend line again, that will be around 40 in the low 40s. It's possible. One more flush out before we head to all-time highs. That is definitely possible. Is it guaranteed? I don't really think it's guaranteed. This is the thing that I've learned throughout the years in crypto. Don't ever try to time the market. Don't try to time the bottom because it's very, very likely that you will get it wrong. It's very few people, and most of it comes down to luck. You're not going to time the market perfectly unless you're a lucky person. That's all it comes down to. It's not skills because most people cannot time the bottom. If everyone was timed the bottom, they would have got the 2022 FTX crash bang on. Everyone then, some people bought obviously. Most people were expecting 10K, and 10K never came. So don't get too greedy. If Bitcoin goes down to the 50s, you're waiting for 40K and it never comes. That's something that could play out because the market likes to surprise people. When everyone's bearish, when it comes down to 55K or 50K, and everyone turns bearish, it's very likely it will just go back up, and then you get left behind because you're waiting for this price here. It's possible though, but I wouldn't personally be waiting for that low, unless it's like some sort of black swan event, which could happen, and then we would potentially go down that low. But I would not bet my money on it. I wouldn't do it. It all depends in the next couple of days. I only have Alt, Sensei, Tech Term, OTK, Prop Base, and Injective. I think, look, that's a solid portfolio. We've kind of already got a portfolio, but let's look at every single narrative and look into the best projects in that narrative. So let's start with AI. You don't need, like I said, you guys don't need to over diversify your portfolio. If you over diversify, in the bull run, it's going to cause a lot of headaches for you guys. I personally, I don't really like diversifying or over diversifying. The best thing to do is have 3 to 4 coins in the best narratives, maybe 5 coin in the top narrative, and then have other coins, maybe 2 to 3 in the other narratives, because we don't know which narrative is going to pump first. So if you diversify, accurately, I would say, you're exposed to whichever pumps first. If you go 80% in AI and then gaming pumps first, or I don't know, RWA pumps first, you're just going to be sitting there, for those months, 1 or 2 months, however long it pumps, without having any exposure to any of these projects, and then you lose a lot of money. That's why we diversify our portfolio. So yeah, AI, we know our AI coins, AI or AGI as a safety net. Let's go with AGI. Let's go with Based AI. That's another good project as well. We could go for Auth, which is still AI. We could go for Sensei, and that's still AI. I look at AI and deepin more or less the same narrative. So if you got AI, let's just put deepin in there as well, and then we can go into AI tech. And if you want another DGen coin, there's plenty of DGen coins you could buy. There's let me think from the top of my head, what good AI coins are there? That's DGen. Based AI is not DGen. Yeah, I can't think from the top of my head. We got AI deepin. We've got Is it all right now or what? I think it should be all right. Is it gone? Still gone? My mic should be good now. Okay, perfect. When it comes to RWA, we have Relio, which you could see as a safety net. Relio is, I would say, one of the best RWA coins. But if you don't like Relio, because of the recent FUD, they're quite similar in market cap, just by a prop base. Because prop base is another good RWA coin. Let's put it in a different sector. Prop base. These are fundamentally good. Not these fuckers are back, bro. Oh my days, the Maelstrom fuckers are back. Hoove, stop banning all of these guys, please. But I'm gonna keep flooding this shit project, man. Nah, the bots are back, bro. Where I need my mods. Bro, what the fuck did it? Oh my god, bro. What did these guys achieve by spamming in Can I ban comments? Hold on. Hide comments. Is there a way to ban comments for the meantime? Well, these fucking pricks, man. Bro, I'm gonna let all these pricks just spam away and then eventually they'll go. But why did this always happen on my live stream though? I'm so confused. This shit happens all the time on my live stream. No, this is jarring, bro. Anyways, let them spam in the comments. Fuck Maelstrom, bro. Fuck Maelstrom. I'm gonna go in the community and troll, bro. These guys are just taking a piss. This is probably the worst marketing ever. This is literally one of the worst marketing techniques ever because everyone's just gonna hate your shitty project, bro. Fucking stupid bastards. Let's go private. I can't even go private now. It's already live now. That's the thing. Fucking stupid pricks, man. I'm trying to ban as many as I can, but they keep spamming new ones. I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can. Guess. Yo, I think they stopped. They stopped. Nah, bro. This is they spam every couple. I'll say every couple of months they start spamming. They start spamming, bro. Fucking cheeky bastards. Anyways, let's just carry on, bro. Fuck them. Thank you very much, Hoove, man. You're a lifesaver, bro. I was trying to do them, but the comments just come so fast you can't really get all of them. I banned probably like 10 of them. Anyways, when it comes to RWA, you have Relio, you have prop base, you have these are like the safety nets. Of course, you got the other ones like Bricken, another good project. You've got what other? Let me think. You got Polytrade, which is not too bad. But Polytrade is I prefer Bricken over Polytrade. I think there's I need to make someone else mod in the chat, bro, because these guys are just taking a piss. I need to make a few more people mod. It's outrageous, these bots. Bricken. How many good RWA projects are there really though? I don't really like SMT because no one really, SMT is not really marketed well. Relio is one of the top 10 most talked about cryptos in general. So that will always pump. Propbase is one of the upcoming, I would say blue chip RWA coins. You like Soil. Soil is, I don't really like Soil. I think Soil is too niche. I think it has a clear use case, but in terms of how much gains it's going to give you, I think Bricken will outperform it. I think even Propbase will outperform. So let's just go with those three for now. There's a few other ones, but I can't remember from the top of my head. I do like Polytrade. I think if it all depends on what price they come down to. That's the thing. But the best ones are definitely Relio on Propbase and Bricken. Those are the best ones that I can think of on top of my head. Let's go look into gaming now. I think gaming is an important sector because I think gaming will get pumped by all the influencers. They love the gaming sector. Let's start with Naka because that's the safety net for the gaming sector. Let's go look into Mavia. I think Mavia can do well. OTK definitely will do one of the best. It all depends on how much these projects dip. Mavia will do well because of the Binance listing. I think they will get a Binance listing. And I think they got a clear. Is Munity's real market cap 1 million? I don't know. It's not. The real Munity, I think it's 400K now because there was an unlock. The real is 448K. It's not, what's it called? It's not 5 million or 1 million. I don't know why CoinMarketCap has updated to that because the real market cap is approximately 400K. I think there's an unlock coming up tomorrow though. Probably why we're pumping a little bit today. But the real market cap is 400K, not 1 million. And then for a DGEM one, we could go with Munity. You could buy any DGEM coin you want. I've already told you guys the reason why I pick Munity. You don't have to pick Munity. You can pick any one you want. I just like Munity because I like Beam. And I need something on the Beam ecosystem because I don't want to buy Beam directly just because Beam will only give me a 5 to 10x. So instead of buying Beam itself, because I think Beam will do well, just buy something on his ecosystem and it will perform the same. Let's look into some meme coins. Hoove, give me some good meme coins, Hoove. Some good meme coins. Let's say Maniki has a good safety net. I think Maniki's performed really well recently. Let's say, what other good memes are there, boys? Brat, you could say Brat is pretty good. Gold has pumped too much, but I think Gold can do well. I think the AI and meme combine, the narrative of meme and AI. I think that could do well as well. Even though they're all just meme coins with just some AI at the end. Brat score is decent. Oh yeah, Andy on Blast. Andy on Blast. That's the good one. Andy on Blast. That's one of my favorite ones as well. The ones that I would personally hold myself is Maniki and Andy on Blast. Why? Because I'm very bullish on Blast. I think Blast right now is under the radar. At some point, I do think Blast can have a good run. And when it does run, it is very likely that the meme coin on that sector, on the layer 1, is likely to outperform it itself. I mean, if you look at Sui, when Sui done really well, the meme coin, the only meme coin I would say, on the chain, done like a 20x in a very short period of time. Oh, Fifi is another good one as well. Yeah, the Matt Fury meme coins will do well. I think if you're gonna buy any meme coin, buy like if you want a safety or Mousetroy. Yeah, MPC is also a good one as well. MPC is another good one. I think there's so many good memes, but they're somewhat safe as well. Like MPC is safe, Brat is safe, Brett and Brat are safe. Skull is pretty decent. One of the main characters on Matt Fury. Andy on Blast, I think will do well. Fifi will do well. There's quite a few different ones. I'm not really too involved in the meme sector. What other narrative are we missing? Which other narrative are we missing? There's too many meme coins, let's be honest, guys. There's like 1,000, 2,000 launching every day. G-Man, walaikum salam. Good to see you, brother. There's too many meme coins launching every day. You can't catch them all, so just buy a few. These are more or less the main narratives. You can have other ones. Let's look into layer 1s, actually. I think layer 1s is one that we're missing. There's quite a few very good layer 1s. My favorite, obviously, everyone knows my favorite, is Injective. How do I scroll over more? Looks like I'm running out of space here, bro. Oh, there we go. Layer ones, the best layer ones, in my opinion, are Injective. I think Injective will do well. I don't know no one knows what the real market cap of Injective is, because Injective has more or less, I think Injective, because they burn their tokens, is very unlikely they update it. That's what tends to happen. Same with Alt. Alt's market cap is lower than 23 million because CoinGecko has not updated its market cap regarding the burns. They've burned a decent amount of tokens now. Arweave is pretty good. That's also a layer one now. C is very good as well. You know, if you want to layer, I would not be buying Casper personally. I don't really think Casper is worth the investment, just because of their consistent involvement in geopolitical stuff. I don't really think that's a smart thing to do, just because it involves a lot of emotions. I would never ever buy a project that gets involved in geopolitical, you know, in that sector. I don't really think anyone should get involved in that. The reason Casper dumped yesterday, you know, because of Israeli attack, is because half of the team is Israeli. So then what happens then is anyone who's a Muslim tends to fud the project, sell their bags, and this is why getting, you know, involved in geopolitical is the stupidest thing you could do as a project. So when I see that, I see a lot of unprofessionalism in the project, and there's so many better layer ones that have smart contracts. Casper still don't have a smart contract, so that's why I stayed away from it. I just wouldn't touch it. Yep, this is the thing. Injective has literally no dilution left. Arweave has no dilution, and they do burn quite a lot of tokens. The reason I like Tectum as well. How the fuck did I forget Tectum? Tectum is not yet a layer one. It will be a layer one by the end of the year. The only Sue's unlocks are not the best, but I do think with the hype it can generate, I don't think, in the bull run, the unlocks don't really matter too much. C's tokenomics are pretty good. Sue's tokenomics is worse. This is the one that you have to be worried about, is Sue. This unlock is way worse than C. C's unlocks are not too bad. 6 million Injective have been burnt so far for Injective. That's a lot of Injective that's burnt, and that has not been, added, taken away from the market cap. This is the one thing, that these coin geckos and coin market caps need to work on. What about lithium? I do like lithium. I think lithium can do well. I could potentially add it to the list. I'd add it to the list. I prefer Tectum over lithium. That's why I don't really add lithium, because they're kind of similar. Well, it's kind of similar to Casper. I mean, if you don't like Casper, just buy a lithium, because a lithium has smart contracts. So I'll prefer lithium over Casper. But if you're going to buy any of them, buy Tectum. Tectum is going to outperform both of them. Tectum now is apparently going to be used by BRICS. That's what the article has been saying. Hasn't been fully announced yet. I do like Zeta Chain and I like Manta. I think both of those can do well. Zeta Chain is pretty good and Manta is pretty good as well, my friend. I think XRP will probably do like 1,000x from here. I think XRP has the potential to do 1,000x from here. I think generally XRP will, be the world reserve currency. I think Cardano is going to flip ETH and Bitcoin at some point, and so will Casper. Casper is going to flip ETH and Bitcoin. Cardano is going to flip ETH and Bitcoin. XRP is going to become the world reserve currency, bro. That's the crack that all of these guys are smoking. That's the one downside to Rio, is the fact that their Twitter is never that active. The thing with Relio is more or less like a complete project. The only thing they need to implement is their real estate, which they haven't done so yet. That's the only downside to Relio. But Relio's been around through a cycle. The only thing they realistically need to do is just get one layer, one tier one listing, and that's it. The rest of it doesn't really matter. Yeah, that was a surprise to me, to be fair. If that happens, that would be massive. Toshi base. I don't really look at too many meme coins, my friend Troy. There's plenty of meme coins. You can probably make 20 lists, the 20 other ones, but then they're all decent. Can't add them all to the list. I think Aptos is quite undervalued. Aptos is pretty good. Propbase is built on Aptos. So if Aptos does well, Propbase will have a bigger pump. I think Aptos has the potential to do well. The reason Aptos has the potential to do well is because what's the other project called? What's the project called, man? That shit chain. Polkadot is dying, Cardano is dying, all these other chains are dying, and people are looking for alternative versions. Linear is actually a good chain. I do like Linear. That could be Foxy could be a good one as well. You just have to get the bullish chains. That's it. Yeah, Propbase is on Aptos. Where did you heard about Bricks and Tet? I think they posted it. It was on an article they wrote. They did say they're in talks with a few governments. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I know they got some connections in the Middle East, in UAE. Miffy, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Try spamming meme coins, my friend. Let's do a DeFi sector. I'm not bullish on DeFi. I personally don't even hold. Well, I hold one DeFi project. I don't really like it though. DeFi project, I don't really see DeFi doing too well. The reason is because the problem with DeFi is if you all look at Done and the amount of money that's going in and out each narrative, DeFi has been consistently going down. And I don't really see the point of putting anything major of your portfolio in DeFi, unless it's like a few percentage, it's fine, just to cover the narrative. DeFi will pump at some point, it always does. I think DeFi can be a big narrative the following cycle. Once we have some sort of collapse in the system, then people will look for alternatives. And DeFi, then could become. I think DeFi will be the future, of course. DeFi will always be the future. Decentralized finance is the future. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get adopted. The same thing with Metaverse. Metaverse will do well at some point, but at the moment, it's just too early. Yeah, the fat CEO is delivering, bro. That's what I said. Wait till September. Let's see if they deliver. And so far, they're doing very well. Doing very well. Yeah, DeFi and Solana will do well just because of the memes on Sol. I think as long as Sol does well, his ecosystem will do well. So the only DeFi project I like that's backed by the Sol Foundation is AMU, even though it's been dying recently, taking a massive hit. I don't really see that as a problem, just because DeFi itself is dead and a few whales sold AMU. Happens to a lot of projects. Same thing happened with ZF. But I found a good replacement for ZF that I cannot leak on here. Now, let's go over some of the important factors, that I would say is very important for this bull run. You have to have a target in mind. It's very, very normal during the bull run phase that a lot of people get greedy. I think it's definitely going to happen to quite a lot of us. We are going to get greedy. This is an emotion that you're going to have to put aside. The best advice I can give all of you guys that's watching is have a realistic goal. Keep in mind, there's always going to be other cycles. I don't really see this cycle as being a super cycle just because of the macros, headwinds that's ahead of us. Inflation going back up, a recession is going to happen. A recession is going to happen. Every time the yield curve gets uninverted, a recession has followed 100% of the time. That's already happened. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. It could take 6 months from now. It could take a year from now. So the likely chances of us seeing a recession in the next, I'll say, year and a half, 2 years, is more or less 100%. And because of that headwind, we are not going to get a super cycle this cycle. I think the super cycle will be the one after. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get a phase 3 in the next couple of months, 4, 5, 6 months. We're going to get a phase 3 where I think Bitcoin the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. I think the Fed will go back into QE at some point in the next couple of months. And when that happens, dominance tends to go down and altcoins outperform. And then Bitcoin goes up as well. So the altcoins go up even more. And that's how the Altseason even works. I think Ethereum will flip Bitcoin not flip, but outperform Bitcoin as soon as QE arrives. At the moment, it's dying against this Bitcoin pair. That's fine because we're in QT. And a lot of people because of the uncertainty in the labor market, geopolitical wars, people are just go to the safest asset in the asset class, which is Bitcoin, or they go into USDT, either or. So the best thing to do is have a goal in mind and don't make it crazy like 30, 50, well, let's say 50 to 100x, because it's very unlikely that you are going to get 100x this cycle. Maybe a few of your coins may do it. Maybe some meme coins will do 100x for you. But have a goal, whether it's a 20x, 25x, 30x, I think that's achievable this cycle. Have a goal. Once you've hit your goal, just get out the markets. Don't wait too greedy and be like, oh, let me just get an extra 2, 3x. That's what happens to a lot of people. And then that extra 2, 3x, and then they say, oh, let me just get one more x. And then next thing you know, you're dumped on. Have a goal in mind. Let's say you got a 20K portfolio. Your goal is to get 400K, 500K. Once you've hit that, just get out the markets. You've hit your goal. And then now you can go into the next bear market, which will follow the following year. And then you've got way more capital now, to start making the millions. If you started with 20K, just think logically, bro. 400K, if you worked a normal job, a normal 9 to 5, you're on decent salary, or anything above 100K would take you approximately 4 or 5 years to save. If you can make that in a year, in a bull market, let's say 200-300K, that will take you multiple years to save if you worked a normal corporate job. But you've done that in a year. So if anything, you've made good money. And then what you can do now is take some of that money, enjoy it, put in your bank account, go on holiday, do what you got to do. Keep, I would say half at least in USDT, USDC, spread it across so you don't lose your asset. That's the something, when you keep USDT and stuff, you have to be careful. Don't keep it all in one place. I'm sure FTX, Celsius, these are the type of stuff that would have made you learnt. If you keep on exchanges, you could get fucked. So just be careful with that. Once you've hit your goal, get out the markets. That's all I can, don't get too greedy because there's going to be other cycles. As I said, the more capital you have, the easier it is for you to make money. If you got 100K, you started with 100K. Instead of, before when you had 10K, you're putting 400 or 500 in a coin. Realistically, now you can put 2, 3K in a coin, 4K, 5K in a coin, and all you need is a 2, 3x to make good money. That's all you need. You need to have a goal in mind and make sure once you hit that goal, you're out of the market. It doesn't matter if you could have made an extra 100K, because then once you make an extra 100K, you want another 100K. This is how greed always gets people in the bull run, and then they end up walking away with a 3-4x when their portfolio originally was 20x because they waited for another 10x, another 5x, and then you get burnt. Because what happens is the market drops, and then you think it's going to go back up, but it never does. So then you're stuck holding it. And then by the time you sell, it's already done. Your gains are done now. You've lost most of your gains, and now you've made fuck all money. So have a realistic goal in mind. And once you hit it, you have to get out of the markets. And then we go again in the next bear market. Because the bear market is when you make the serious money. When the Bitcoin goes down significantly and every altcoin that you like is pennies on the dollar, buy $1,000, $2,000, that's when you actually make the 100x's. If you was in 2022 crash, you could have bought any RWA coin, you would have done very well. At that time, if you bought Really or you bought SMT, you would have made over 100x on each. If you bought any of the AI coins, via any of these other ones, AGIX even, you would have got, some of them above 100x. You would have got minimum 50x on most of them. The MTR, all of these other ones, they've done 100x's since the lows. The best thing to do is, when that dip happens, think a little bit ahead. What's likely to do well this cycle? At that time, AI, was more or less, it didn't even have a sector on CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap in the category sector. So of course, if you bought any of them when they did get a sector, they went parabolic. There could be a scenario next cycle where quantum resistant coins become a narrative, and they have a category of their own. That's how you fund run stuff, and that's how you make serious money in crypto. So once like I said, you have a goal in mind. Once your goal is hit, just get out of the markets. Don't get too greedy. It's gonna happen to all of you guys. I guarantee you get too greedy, bro. It happened to me in my first cycle. Got greedy and you end up walking away with way less than what you could have. Or a lot of projects is rugging the bull run as well. You might think you might have the best projects in the world, but you don't even know, the people behind it. They could just rug the project, dump it. Not rug in the sense where they pull the liquidity, but the team's dumping aggressively, and then you're just left holding your bags. So, and another thing is, when you're DCAing, you have to DCA out as well, especially if you got a large portfolio, because if you keep it, and then at the end you want to sell, a lot of people are expecting November to be the top. If you're waiting till November to sell your coins, so is thousands and millions of other people. So you have to DCA out in stages. By the time it gets to November, you're already out of the markets because you're front running everyone else. That's how as bad as it sounds, crypto is player versus player. So especially meme coins is all player versus player. When a guy shares a meme to you, what do you think he's trying to do? He's trying to pump his own bags. That's so when you see someone shitting a meme coin after he's up 10x, you're an idiot if you buy them. Because as soon as you buy and he pumps, let's say you buy 2K, and 2K in these meme coins pumps it 5 to 10%, that guy would dump on you. But you would never know he dumps on you. He shared it to you, said it's a good project, and they'll dump on you, bro. Be very careful. That's how meme coins work. Same thing with crypto. That's why, if you're in a community or whatever, it's different, because you're if you get out in stages, you don't have to worry about liquidity. If you just stacked up, let's say Sensei does a 50x from here, you've saved it all the way to the 50x, you're going to struggle to get out. Whereas if you get out in stages, you have your success rate will be a lot better. You'll be out, most of your bags will be out. For DeFi, do you think ZF, Sui, Swap cover 1 to 2%? I don't really like ZF. I found a replacement for ZF. Found a much better coin than ZF, but it's in the same category. Can't release it just yet, though. My first cycle was, I think it was a 2017 bull run, but I only held Bitcoin and ETH those times. I never held anything else. I never really understood it that well, so I just bought the main two things at that point, because everyone was talking about ETH was the only layer one at that time, and that's why it done well. And then Bitcoin, everyone knows Bitcoin, man. That's the only two I was buying back then. I was only a little kid back then as well. Chainx launched a lot of Casper KLC memes recently, like great ghost. Like, yeah, there's the thing with the Casper meme coins are. That's probably why I think that's probably what killed Casper. Is most people sell their Casper into these meme coins, and the meme coins outperform Casper, obviously. So then people just do the same things. People just sell their Casper, mint their Casper, and go buy these altcoins. I mean, these meme coins, because they're outperforming their Casper, which is just going down consistently. Best DCAs right now. Let's have a look at the best DCAs today. That's a good idea. The best DCAs today are Tectum. If you get and DCA small amounts, don't go crazy, because very likely these are going to go down slightly more. Tectum, very good DCA. I do think Tectum will go below $9. So you could put some limit orders. Why? Because this, this bearish structure broke, and it always leads to a downside. This is something that I learned in the TA thing, but this always breaks to the downside. You have the first bounce, which is more explosive, then it just gets smaller and smaller, and then it just eventually dumps when it breaks the structure. So very likely it'll probably go somewhere around 8 to 7, anywhere between $7 to $8, I think, between those regions. So that'll be a good time to DCA some tech term. We got AI tech had a very decent dump. Some of these other coins don't really dump too much though. This is not a bad DCA long term. Or it doesn't really dump. That's the problem with some of these, very strong holding coins. Or barely dumped. Every time it dumped, it just recovered very quickly. But ultimately, it hasn't really dumped the last month. Sensei as well, it doesn't really dump too much. That's the problem. It's not really a problem if you're holding the bag, but if you're a buyer, it's a massive problem because during this, when most altcoins are down 15, some of them 20% on the daily, then you would want some of these to go down if you want to buy, but these are very resistant to dumps. You could buy some. I don't think it's wise to buy Immunity right now. I think it's pumped a decent amount. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Immunity now. I think based AI below $2 is decent. Yeah, if you can get based AI below $2, just because of the mainnet. The mainnet launches in approximately probably like a week and a half now, sometime in November. I think it's mid-November actually. They might delay it slightly, but once their mainnet is live, all the people that's been staking the tokens for the I don't know 3-4 months, I think it's been probably longer even. Those guys will get all their tokens at once, and you guys know a majority of them will sell. Some of them will keep a moon bag, but a majority of them that's been staking is free money for them. Of course, they're going to dump. So they're going to dump it, get this around below $2 long term. This will do very well. Fundamentally, I do think this can give Tao a run for his money. Do I think Labour would hit everyone with crypto tax? Very possible, yeah. Very possible. Yeah, Dynex will make brokies, bro. 2 projects that you guys should genuinely avoid is one of them is Dynex. Why? It's very unprofessional team. The guy that does the marketing for these guys, comes on people's live streams and more or less forces you to buy this shitcoin, which is not a good look, because if your form of marketing is going onto the streams of YouTubers and asking them for an AMA, begging them for an AMA, I don't really see that as a professional thing to do. It just shows you're broke, because if you got any sort of marketing, you'd never be that desperate enough to even be on any comment section. I've genuinely never ever seen a team member of any crypto project on a live stream, on so many live streams, commenting on people talking about the project. I've never seen that. I think that's a big red flag. It just shows they're a bunch of brokies, and you don't want to be buying in projects that are brokies, because they got no marketing, they got no money to pay for exchanges, they got no money for marketing, which is a very pivotal part. It's a very important part of crypto. As bad as it sounds, you need to pay these influencers to show your coin to make it pump. That's why we hold these tokens for marketing. If a project does zero marketing and it doesn't pump, that's your fault for holding that project, because they're broke. And when you see projects like these guys, well, not this project specifically, I've not seen this one, but I've seen Octaspace. You go into the Telegram, and this is a project that claims they're working with, or they've worked with Coca-Cola. If you're making ridiculous claims like that, you should have some money behind you. The project's been around for a very long time, over 2 years, I would say, if not 2 years, which is a reasonable amount of time. They've got a completed project. So ideally, you want people to utilize your product. This is how they make money. Look at Alt. Alt makes a lot of money. They make over 10 million annually, and they do very, massive buybacks of their tokens, and they burn it. That's what we want to see in a project. These guys don't make no money. So they've asked the community to raise 400K, which is a massive red flag. If you're asking the community to pay, why are you guys investing in a project? Anyone with a common sense, with a brain, why are you investing in a project that you're, that you're keeping your money in there to appreciate in value, and then the project asking you to donate money for an exchange listing. I thought you guys invested in this project because it's doing well. Clearly, it's not doing well. So funding is a very important part in crypto. And that's probably why a lot of projects tend to get VC allocations, because that's money. That's money they can use to develop the project. That's what the VC allocations are for. Dynex will make a millionaire if you're owning a trillionaire. Hey, Gray, how you doing, bro? Is there another bear market? Would there be another bear market before Altseason starts? Not really, no. I mean, this year more or less have been a bear market. Hence why meme coins have been outperforming. There's always these ridiculous claims and statements that a lot of people make. One of the statements this year is only buy meme coins because utility is never going to come back. This is the level of stupidity that a lot of people operate because they live in the moment. They don't realize that the top 200 tokens are all, or the top 100 tokens are all utility, mostly utility, probably like 95% utility. They don't realize that, 2022, 2023, utility was doing very well. The reason is been dead so far this year specifically is because Bitcoin hasn't gone anywhere. So when Bitcoin isn't going anywhere and your altcoin is continuously bleeding back into Bitcoin as dominance continuously goes higher, what are people doing? They're gambling on meme coins. It doesn't mean they're going to do that forever. Why? Because when the Fed goes into QE, utility does very well. And a prime example of this was the 50 basis point rate cut. As soon as that rate cut happened, all the utility coins did very well in a short period of time. This is what the rate cuts and QE does. And then meme coins took a step back and most of them dumped back into utility. Why? Because most people don't make money in meme coins. A very small percentage of people actually making money in meme coins, whereas you can buy a good utility coin, hold it long enough, you'll make money. Whereas a meme coin, you're very likely to lose fucking 30% of your wealth in the space of a week gambling on meme coins. Unless you got some sort of insider, you're not going to make money on these meme coins. Very unlikely, because you have either you're on your screen 24 hours, which most people don't have time to do. With these meme coins, especially if you're trading them, you have to be stuck on your phone, stuck on your screen, because they could pump 5x in 1 hour and dump and rug the next hour. So you have to watch the charts, and most people don't have time for that. Hence why utility will always do well. It's only the degens, the people that have nothing else to do, and they're living off these meme coins. Those are the people that's actually probably potentially making money. But the people that are trying to hold these meme coins long term, unless it's a well-established meme coin, they're not going to perform well. That's how it is. Like, most people don't make money in meme coins, whereas a majority, like, I'll say at least 40-50% of people make money on utility if they hold it long enough. So when the rate cuts happen and QE happens again, the utility will pump. They will always pump. AI will always pump. Gaming will always pump, because all the influencers, when retail comes back into crypto, which at the moment they're not, when they come into crypto, they'll buy whatever the influencers are telling them to buy. Go look at the top influencers; they all show utility. Some of them show meme coins, but then they show utility as well. So when and gaming is something that every single YouTuber talks about and holds. So when that narrative hits, it could be the smallest thing. It could be any, is all the catalyst doesn't have to be a big one. Is most of the time is a small one. If off the grid continues to do well, the market is primed, gaming will run. It's as simple as that. So, don't listen to the people that's telling you only get into meme coins because of such and such. Well, we're not going to see a recession till next year. Very unlikely. So during that time, when the Fed goes back into QE, which they will at some point, the altcoins will outperform Bitcoin and as well, and meme coins as well. Yes, meme coins will always do well, but the meme coins that does 1,000x, you're never going to see the 1,000x. You might get a 10, 20x on them, but you will never get the 1,000x, because a million launches, 10,000 meme coins launch a day. How are you going to find that one? It's very rare. You get lucky on some, of course, but it's very rare. That's why I don't really believe in the narrative where you know, oh, only buy meme coin because meme coins are outperforming, is the meme super cycle. Yes, it is this year because Bitcoin hasn't not gone anywhere for the past 7 months. It's been choppy consolidating. So people go gamble on meme coins. It's not rocket science. What do you think about Kopi? I like their team. Not sure where they can. I think Kopi's decent, but no, it has quite a high market cap. I don't really like buying higher cap gaming coins, so I don't. I wouldn't buy Kopi personally. I think it's a good project, but in terms of how much returns they can give you, I think there's way better projects than Kopi. Yo, shit, how you doing, brother? If you want the exact time, it will happen in January 2025. I think that's when the market will take off. What are my thoughts of Ton as layer one? I personally would not be buying Ton as a layer one just because the CEO is locked up, just because it keeps going down. Ton is good, but only because of Telegram. That's the only reason people like Ton. But Ton as a chain itself, it's like Solana. It tends to, I don't know how it does well, but it goes down all the time. It's literally like Solana. Solana goes down a lot, and so does Ton. Also, what about Everdome? Bro, Everdome's a dog shit project. Well, look, the buy narrative with Everdome has been going on, I would say, for the past 2 years. They've been in Dubai for a long time. It doesn't mean nothing. Just because you're in Dubai, it literally does not mean anything. Dubai has become a hub for crypto now. Multiple projects are in Dubai. Does not mean it's gonna pump, Well, look, metaverse is too early, my friend. I don't think you should be worrying about metaverse this cycle. Worry about metaverse maybe the next cycle. I think by then the VR headsets will probably become cheap and maybe the average person can afford them. And then metaverse will do well. Because if a good metaverse game comes out and everyone's playing it because everyone can afford, if you get a VR headset, as cheap as a console, like a PS4, PS5, let's say a PS5, then I would say metaverse can make a comeback. But so far, the VR headsets are like 2-3K a piece. The average person can't afford that. So therefore, metaverse cannot do well. Because the only people that's going to be buying your metaverse token is retail. Institutions ain't going to be buying these metaverse coins, gaming coins. It's going to be retail. And if retail cannot play them, why would they buy them? So I would stay away from it, my friend. Crypto G, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Why do I think I've already explained that. I don't need to go through that again. Relio is a good DCA as well, yes. Look, despite the Relio FUD, there's always going to be FUD for Relio. There's always been FUD for Relio. Relio pumped to 30 cents down up here somewhere, pumped up to like 30 cents, and then the FUD came out, went down to 2 cents, and then eventually, here's the FUD. I think it went to 30 cents, FUD, had a low recovery, FUD again, went down to like 10 cents, and then went to $3. That's a 30x. Now, had a dump, whatever, had a good recovery, then more FUD. Now it's just going to be choppy around here. Maybe it's go down a bit more, maybe come then recover back up, and eventually it's going to go back up to I don't know how many. Maybe it'll do a 10x, 20x. Is always going to do well, my friend, always, because at the moment it's still the top 10 most talked about altcoin in crypto. Backed by Circle, Coinbase, BlackRock, top of the pyramid. You could say that, but I don't really think America is going to get rid of USDT. Why? Because USDT holds a lot of treasuries. So if it becomes a case, they're just going to start the treasuries, and it's not going to be good for America. So I don't really see them doing anything to USDT where they'll get rid of it. I think it's impossible to even get rid of USDT. But the whole treasuries, they literally hedge 1-to-1 against treasuries. So it's not the smartest thing to do for America. I think USDT will be fine. There's been FUD around USDT for the past year now. Nothing has happened. They always claim crypto is used by, drug dealers and terrorists or whatever the case is. There's some truth to that, but crypto has bigger use cases than that. Grayscale is interested in Casper. It doesn't matter if Grayscale is interested in Casper. Grayscale might be interested in Casper. Does that mean his customers are going to be interested in Casper? No, it doesn't mean that. Yeah, Grayscale has a lot of coins on the list, not just Casper. Even if, let's say, Grayscale gets Casper, what does that even mean? It just means that institutions have the option to buy Casper, which are they going to do? I don't think they will. They're not even buying Ethereum. Why the fuck are they going to buy Casper? Do I think Cubic is solid? Well, one thing I can tell you about Cubic, my friend, the team is known, for making a project run very well, thousands, hundreds of X's, and then ultimately rug pulling it and then starting something else. So, it might do another 5 to 10x from this point on, and then ultimately just get rug pulled. That's what my prediction is for Cubic. Because the team has a history of doing this. They've done this to 3 other projects. Cubic is another one. IXS. Is this the Chainlink coin? Or is this another one? 80 million in market cap is on the base network. I think I've looked into this and I think it's a good project. Let's get rid of this. Real world assets, tokenization, launchpad, and DEX. Okay. Invest in your first deal for as low as $1. Realm Metaverse. See, this is stupid shit, buzz. Realm is a dead coin, and I'm assuming this is land in Realm, so I'm not bullish on that concept. Enter the world of. Website looks very professional. I do like the website. Staking, bridge. Yeah, I think it has a clear use case. I think this can do well. Yeah, it's not a bad project. They don't really have the best backers. None. Alliance Block. There's a dog shit project. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. I would say it's not too bad. 100% circulation. There's not a lot of interest in the project. Look at the trading volume, 80 million, 200K volume. But clearly, there's not a lot of interest. Something isn't right. Personally, I would not be touching this. What's a good DCA target for Bricken and Propbase? Well, they need to calm down because both of them has pumped too much. You don't want to be buying Bricken now when it's up this much. I mean, if from the lows, it's probably up like 2x. So I would not be touching Bricken now. What happens with Bricken is, and this is something you guys should consider before buying, it tends to have this, consistent downtrend. I can show you guys another example. Hold on. Let's not go on max. Let's go on the yearly. It tends to just consolidate in a downtrend pattern and then just have one massive, dump. Hold on. Fuck is this ain't Bricken? Hold on. I was thinking what's going on. Oh, there we go. Let's go on the yearly. This is what happens. It goes down like this. This is a very good example, right? It just goes down slowly, and then just has a massive drop because some whale dumps. This is very common with Bricken. I've been watching Bricken for a very long time. And then another example is here. It just consolidates, has little pumps, and ultimately it just has this massive sharp drop here. You guys can see over here as well. Just chilling, consolidating for a little bit of time, and then just has this massive drop. And the same thing most likely will happen again. It just is consolidating slightly in a downtrend pattern. Very likely at some point, some whale who bought down here is going to dump this down. So when that happens, it'll be a good time to buy. For now, I wouldn't touch it. And then Propbase, I think Propbase is not a bad time to even buy, to be honest. I mean, long term, you're not going to complain with Propbase because I think it will still perform well long term. There's $45 million in market cap. Relio approximately is probably like 60. So there's not much difference between them. The vesting is pretty good for this as well. They got decent exchanges. I think they're going to get a few more, maybe, potentially. It's on their roadmap, so I imagine they'll get maybe one more. If you don't want to have Relio, buy this. I prefer to have both. But if you want a safety net, Relio and Propbase are the best ones. Can I give a heads up on? Yeah, I'll do that, my friend. At the moment, no one really wants to leave. I think one guy is going to leave tomorrow, so I'll probably kick him out tomorrow. And then there will be one more spot as well the next month at the moment. So yeah. 84 watching and only 48 likes. Come on, you degenerates. Yeah, boys, smash the like button right now. I would appreciate it. But you guys smash the like. Why? Because it does help me out a lot. You know, for you guys, the like probably doesn't mean nothing. But it takes like 2 seconds of your time, but it does help me get pushed in the algorithms. I think Mavia's vesting is fundamentally very good. You know, Mavia's vesting is, I would say, probably one of the best for gaming. I think Neon has very good vesting. Neon's a good one. This one, the vesting for this is very good. Because look, unless you're holding it for a long period of time, which most people are not. Oh, there's an unlock coming up for this as well, actually. So there's one more unlock for Mavia. We could potentially see a little dump. Why? Because the early investors are still up on Mavia. So there's going to be approximately a $2 million unlock, which is a decent amount in 10 days. So, you know, there's a very likely chance that if the market's still bearish, you know, and with the unlock happening, because these guys are going to be up on the investment. Why? Because the IDOs are up. If these guys are up, you can only imagine the prices these guys got in at. I would say these guys are up at least another 4 or 5x. These guys getting way better prices than the, you know, the IEOs, the seed and the strategic. So, you know, this could dump a bit more for sure. But the unlock for this is there's barely anything, to be honest. You're looking at now to November, you know, 1x dilution pretty much, 80 million by the, you know, August next year. So I think that's pretty good. You know, November you're not gonna be holding anyway. So August is probably the latest I'll be in the markets. So August, 1x dilution. I don't really see that as a problem. I think that's pretty good. So yeah. Unlock is pretty good for this. Yeah, let people buy memes. We keep distracted and patience will be. I think so, yeah. Like look, you guys should be happy that memes are doing well right now. Number one, you can always trade them. You know, we trade memes in the VIP group. You guys can always trade them and make money on memes. It's not like, you know, you just completely forget about them. But the memes are doing very well. Trade them and buy your long-term bags. Because the thing is, some of these meme coins will continue to do well. But you have to think there's so many new memes launching all the time. The market for memes now is very competitive. Some of them will pump, they'll get forgotten about. You know, look at all the old ones that done very well. Most of them no one talks about them anymore. The volume is probably fuck all, but the market cap is reasonably high for a meme coin. So, you know, it all becomes with community. It becomes with narrative. You know, even within memes, there's narratives. There was a period of time where the Matt Fury meme coins done very well. That's a narrative. So you could have bought any Matt Fury meme coin and you would have made good money. Now they've kind of slowed down, so you can buy them and at some point they'll pump again. You just have to have the patience though. You know, so that's how it is with meme coins. It's become way too saturated, bro. Well, Casper, I would never buy Casper. I bought Casper. I made like a good 50x on it, but you know, would I buy this shit? I would never buy this shit, bro. This reminds me of so much of Cardano. It's crazy. The community, you know, the code, like this was basically Cardano life cycle. Most of the same way that these guys are acting, every single time it dips, buy more, buy more. The same thing was happening with Cardano. Cardano paid off very well. You know, why are you guys buying this now when it's already $3 billion in market cap? Says this is not going to outperform most of the other ones, because once it becomes unprofitable for miners, it's just not going to perform because the miners will go somewhere else. This is why Relio was put in a very sticky situation, a very complicated situation, because number one, miners make up most of your project. So I guarantee you, miners, well, for Relio, miners made up 70% of the you know, because I think it was like 70-30. So 30% was people that's holding the token, and 70% was miners. So then, you know, because the miners overwhelmed the people who held the tokens, the proposal went through. That's what happens. miners are very important for projects. Most projects that relied on miners like Karina, once the miners moved on to something else, is dead now. So this is something you have to be very, very careful of. I don't mind people that hold Casper only for this cycle, but there's a decent group of people within the Casper community trying to hold this for years and years and years, thinking is going to be the next ETH and thinking is going to be the new Bitcoin. Like that's the level of stupidity they're running on. So as long as you're not in that camp, it's fine to buy some now to get rid of it at the end of the bull run. But if you're in that camp where you genuinely think this is going to replace ETH and Bitcoin, then you're genuinely retarded. There's you literally have no brain cells, because it's your first cycle. You're hearing all these dumb YouTubers who's going to dump all their bags. I guarantee you, all these YouTubers probably hold a shit ton of Casper. They're not going to sit on their bags for the next 3 years of bear market, this continuously bleeding, thinking is going to, go on to replace ETH. It's not going to happen, bro. Cardano had the same people, is going to replace ETH. It's going to become the number 2 in the crypto space. And look at it now, it's more or less dead. The same thing is going to happen to this. Why? Because there's going to be something newer. The last cycle, Chainlink was the Casper. This cycle, Chainlink continuously went higher. People were calling it the next big thing. And then when the bull run came, it don't fuck all. Because by that time, everyone's already bought this. Everyone's already pumped it up. There's not much gains left in it. And that's what happened in Chainlink. It performed throughout the bear market, it performed really well. And then when it got to the bull market, it barely done fuck all compared to most people were expecting it to do crazy numbers. And I think Casper is going to be the same, where everyone's expecting to do crazy numbers and it just, disappoints everyone. That's what my guess is with Casper. I think everyone's hyped us up too much. And then, they're going to be disappointed in the bull run, just like Chainlink was last cycle, where it done very well throughout the bear market. And people were like, oh, it's done 1,000x in the bear market. Just imagine what it's going to do in the bull run. And then when the bull run came, it don't fuck all. It pumped, but it don't fuck all. And then, all the influencers dump on you while you're stuck holding them, their bags in trying to hold this in 10 years' time. And then the next cycle, there's a new Casper, there's a new Cardano, there's a new shiny gem that everyone's focusing on. There's a new big mining project that all the miners are going to leave this project and go on to that. You have to keep that in mind. If a project is mainly, run by miners will always move on to something that's more profitable. And most of this has been mined now. So what's left for the miners? This is probably why it's dumping, because the miners is becoming less and less profitable for them. So the only thing I can see these guys potentially, to keep this going is to start minting new tokens. If they do that, most of the people are going to dump. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Eventually, the mining pool becomes unprofitable. The miners move on to something else. And then that's when the project tends to do very bad. Same thing happened to Relio. The mining became unprofitable. So they had to add more tokens in circulation. It was the only solution. But the good thing about Relio is those tokens are going to take 40 years to come into circulation. I'm not holding Relio for 40 years. Holding for another year and I'm getting out. I think Relio is, I don't very doubt, unless Bitcoin goes down to the low 40s, that it's going to go to 0.01. Very unlikely, my friend. SeaWorld is the next 100 gem. Seed World. We're going to have a look at it. I don't know, my friend. The gaming project is on Avalanche. Just launched right now. I wouldn't buy any project that just launched, because then, they always get dumped. Oh, it's this project. I've seen this. Oh, there's not really much to go off. Let's go on their partnerships. Oh, is it gonna? Well, I mean, bro. NFTs blog token claim. Yeah, this I don't know, bro. What's the market cap on this? It's not the next 100x, no. Yeah, UFC is on today, isn't it? Good to see you as well, Ross. Though UFC is on today. I fully forgot. They already announced QE. They didn't announce it yet. No, they've not announced QE, bro. What are you on about? This is the indicator that shows if they announce QE. If this was start going up, then they announce QE. Then they don't need to announce it. We can see it. The Fed is still taking assets off their balance sheet, so they have not started QE, bro. QE is not the same as turning the money printers on. The money printers on all the time. It's not QE, bro. QE is when the Fed adds to the balance sheet. That's QE. So clearly they have not announced QE, but we're on about. Lithium will get Casper $2 being a proof of work tag. Has huge selling now with ASIC miners now with great hash rate, but it should rebound over to 50x. Yeah, 100 million. It's possible. Would it be better to sell my Tether for really or 100%, bro? Tether is a dead token. It's a relic from the previous cycle. I don't think memes will go dead. It's just look. The thing with memes is you're not gonna. It's very unlikely you will see the meme that does 1,000x. Meme will always perform well in the background because there's 10,000 launching. If you launch anything 10,000, a few of them are gonna do well. You launch 1,000 memes, of course, 2 or 3 will perform well. But how are you gonna catch that 2 or 3 though? Yeah, Maniki has the best sex listings. It's actually true. I think Maniki has a lot of funding. Maniki's been partnering with football clubs, so they, you could see them in a lot of. I think Maniki will do very well. Appreciate that, my friend. You think based AI can hit what Tau did in the first? I think so. Yeah, I genuinely think based AI could, be a very good competitor of Tau. I think if you compare the tech behind both of them, I think based AI's tech is better. But I think because Tau was, the first mover, it done very well. I think if both of them were launched at the same time, I think based AI would have outperformed Tau. And this is someone that holds Tau. I hold Tau myself. I called Tau at $40. I've been holding it since that long, and I genuinely think based AI is fundamentally stronger than Tau. Is the the USDT dominance chart I got over here is very important to look at because we had a little fake out over here where it looked like for a sudden that the trend was gone. Over here, it went below, and that could have been an indicator where a lot of people potentially bought in Bitcoin thinking that this trend is gone, and then it just went on to go and reverse. So we'll have to see how this works out because and this all correlates very nicely. If you look at the USDT chart, it's basically the Bitcoin chart but flipped the other way around. That's all it is. So when you see USDT, the next level is probably like around 7%. So if USDT dominance goes to 7%, is 70% or 7%, sorry, it's very likely you'll see Bitcoin in the low 40s for sure. So let's see what happens. AJ, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. US dollar is the biggest shitcoin, supply and unlimited and backed by nothing. Yeah, that's how it's backed by the government and the military of the country and the economic power. You say that, but you look at the dollar's been rallying pretty hard. And this is something I told the private community. When the Fed cuts 50 basis points and shows, and then GDP comes in decent, and unemployment's going down, the back end of the yield curve goes up. Why? Because they start thinking the economy is doing well, and it starts rallying. But then this causes inflation to go back up. So this is why the Fed is such it's in a very sticky situation because right now the back end of the yield curve and dollar is expecting more rate cuts because the Fed keeps indicating more rate cuts, and when that happens, they keep rallying, and then when the 10-year goes up, fixed mortgage rates goes up, the cost of borrowing goes up, causes inflation to go back up. This is why the Fed is such in a very, I would say, difficult situation now. On one end, because unemployment is doing well, apparently, you could say it's election manipulated. You could say that, but the Fed has to go off the data that's in hand, and the data in hand right now is unemployment is trending down, which is bullish. Inflation is no longer a worry apparently, because inflation went down but CPI went up, which doesn't make sense, but somehow it happens because there's election data. Of course, everything's stupid. And then you go look a month after the election, everything gets revised. All the jobs opens gets revised, and all the jobs they claimed they had no longer is there. And then jobless claims go back up, and then we will get a crash. That's what's most likely going to happen, but it's not guaranteed though. That's the thing, because if they win, they're just going to continue to manipulate the data. But if Trump wins, it's very likely they will start manipulating the data in the worst way and make it and just let Trump deal with it. It's very likely they'll do that in December, most likely. That's why I said, and I've been saying this for months, if you don't see the big crash in September, it will happen in December, because September is known to be the most bearish month, and it ended up green. But in September is when we get the third rate cut, and then we get a landing. And then the election will be done as well. So then the real data will come out. That was my base theory for months. But then during that time, I've always said altcoins, it doesn't matter, because altcoins are going to go down as dominance goes up. And that's exactly how it played out. In the short term, dominance doesn't matter for us as low cap investors, because in the grand scheme of things, as Bitcoin goes up, dominance will go up with it. But then alts will also go up. The altcoins also go up. If you're just following the dominance chart, it's only good as a short-term indicator. That's it. That's all it's good for. Long-term, for us, it doesn't matter too much. If you're like you're DGen and you're buying all these mini low caps, for us, that doesn't matter, because these low caps always pump on the hold. Even if this goes up, Sensei and all doesn't really dump, does it? So, that's how it is. This is the dominance thing is only good for the top 10 coins and Ethereum. But then it kind of, the way I look at dominance is market sentiment, that's it. And market shiftment. That's what I look at it as. I don't look at it as an indicator when to buy altcoins, because we buy our low cap altcoins as soon as possible, because they tend to go up randomly. Like Munity is pumped 45% the last day, even though most altcoins are down. That's why you can't hold too long on these micro caps, because they just pump randomly. USDT FUD every year to shake people out of the market, so whales and sex can only buy cheap. Yeah, but that FUD didn't really do anything. Bro. Bitcoin went from 68k to 66k, but that's not FUD. It was literally up here at 68.5, and it went as low as 65k. That's it. It's not really that much lower. It's like 2-3k. Tether holds more US Treasury than some governments like Germany. So if US are smart, they won't screw with it. That's what I'm saying. That's why they won't do it. But I just think it's just pure market manipulation. I look at it as market manipulation because, US can't really get rid of Tether because they hold so much treasuries. And if they start dumping the treasuries, it's not good for America. So I don't really think Tether's going to die out. And I think because Tether's so smart, they started buying treasuries. Otherwise, they would have been attacked a long time ago. The minimum I would say is 20x for both of them, my friend. I think minimum they'll do a 20x each. Yeah, I think DGen is not bad. I think DGen's a good meme coin. It pumped randomly, but it tends to do well. I do find the props vesting is a bit shady. The props vesting is not shady at all, my friend. I literally shared it in the group. You can literally go on their Telegram now, ask for the vesting, and they'll give it to you. It's not shady at all. That's probably why the price never dumps, because the unlocks are a bare minimum. I think most of the unlock is for exchange listings, I'm pretty sure. I think it's very good. And the unlock is the bare minimum, my friend. And you can literally go on their Telegram now and ask for the unlock. Thoughts on Goldfinch is dumping. GFI is pumped too much, but it's too high in market cap. I personally wouldn't touch it. It doesn't matter if it's dumping. The whole market is kind of dumping. But this is not a project that tends to do well. It's just not a project that tends to do well. It's just too high in market cap. Very limited use case. It's already got the Coinbase listings. Like what other catalyst is there to make this pump apart from an RWA pump? Even then, it's just not going to do that well. If you look at it, fuck's sakes, 1 second, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. If you look at it, at the heights, it reached let's say $400 million in market cap. That's at the heights. It reached $400 million in market cap. It's currently sitting at 123. That's less than 4x. It's less than 4x back to his all-time highs. I don't really see that as worth the investment. Yeah, look, Casper's just stupid for what they've done. They got involved in politics, and then now everyone looks at them as if Israel gets attacked, they dump. If Israel attacks, they dump. So that's why it is. Just stupid. That's why you shouldn't get involved in politics. Everyone now looks at Casper as a Zionist coin, as an Israeli coin. So when they get attacked, the Casper will dump. If they do the attacking, Casper dumps. That's all it is. This is why, as a project, you shouldn't get involved in politics. That's their own fault. Mazzy, I would skip Mazzy, bro. Is GFAO? I think GFAO is okay, but I would buy other gaming projects above GFAO. GFAO doesn't really stand out anymore. That's it. They pumped because they got some funding from Supercell, and then that pump didn't last too long because it just dumped straight back down. You guys can see over here. People just want to get rid of this coin because it's become a relic. Not only is the vesting, I think the vesting is not too bad now, but even then, the vesting is not the best or was never the best. There's a lot of dilution. The thing that made this stand out was the team. But then if you go look at now, most gaming projects have a solid team. So that aspect of it has gone down the window, down the drain, because most gaming projects have solid teams now. Before it was the FIFA, whatever is part of the team, CEO. But then you look at now, there's so many teams that have people from Supercell, people from EA and all these other big companies. And ultimately, it just becomes another coin then. And because their games are so shit, no one plays them. I don't think there's better gaming projects out there. What do I think about Virtual Protocol? I wouldn't buy it now. It's ran way too much, bro. Virtual Protocol is still fundamentally a good project. I do like the project. Would I get into it now? Nope. Yeah, OTK is holding up very well against the market. When Solana shows strength, this shows strength, and when Solana dumps, this dumps. That's all it is. It doesn't really follow Bitcoin. I say it follows Solana. This is how the chart looks for the past 3 months. It's just been consolidated in the same range, which is good to see. Because if you look at most other altcoins, they've come down. But for the past, since June, when the low was in, it's just been consolidating. That's it, which is what you want to see realistically. Pumps and then comes down, pumps and goes down. It will do well in the gaming one. That's what we wait for. What do I think about Parcel? I think Parcel is good. Just the unlocks are too much. Like 50% of the supply is held by early investors. And then there's quite a massive unlock next year. So if it does well before that, you should get out earlier. Because when the unlock happens and all those VCs get a big chunk of their tokens, they're going to dump that project down a lot. So, if you can get out before the unlock, I don't know when it is, but I know that 50% of the supply is held by early investors and there's a massive unlock next year. That's why I stayed away from it. One YouTuber recommends 80% Casper and predicts $1 within 6 months and then shoots up to $10 in the short term. What the fuck? That guy is, what retard is saying that? So from $1, bro, yo, that is actually ridiculous. Let me show you guys. Let's just do the maths on how much market cap. This is why, and anyone who falls for this is your own fault, bro. I don't care. I hope you guys, anyone who falls for this stupidity is genuinely your own fault. Because let's just do the maths, right? It goes to $1. It'll be 30 billion in market cap, 30 billion. Keep that in mind, 30 billion. And then it does another 10x on top of that in a short term, in 1 month. So from 30 billion is going to shoot up to 300 billion. Does that sound like is a realistic thing in your, anyone with a brain, any sort of brain cell? Does that sound realistic to you? The only way I see that happening is if Ethereum rug pulls, Solana rug pulls, XRP rug pulls, all these other coins rug pull in the top 100, and everyone puts it back into Casper. That's the only way I see it happening. How is that even realistic? This is why I told you guys. You guys are gonna give in $10 price prediction. There's people that's telling you $10. I guarantee you, if you go track their wallets and you got their wallet address, they'll be dumping along the way because they hold such massive bags. They don't need to hold for the 100x's. You guys are going to be holding their bags while they dump on you. And then the more liquidity they have there to dump, the easier it is for them. I don't know what kind of retarded person would say something so ridiculous. But anyways, I'm not entertaining Casper retards today, bro. Want to pick up Max and Carve now? Good time to do it. I wouldn't touch Carve, bro. Carve was only good if you got the nodes. Don't invest into the token. Get the nodes for them projects. When you think about Moody being popular outside of crypto, Moody retail comes in crypto, they'll buy the hype. Moody's already had that hype though. By the time retail comes back into crypto, they're gonna be buying some other shit, bro. They're gonna be buying another Molding. They're gonna be buying other stuff, bro. If any in retail, if he's got popularity outside of crypto, and the people that's even interested in crypto, they would have already bought Molding. The reason Molding done well recently wasn't because retail bought it, it's because people just traded it because they got futures on Binance. That's it. That's all it is. Redo future meme. Not really. Redo will do well if Ton does well. Based AI to $60. Possible. That'll be a 30x approximately. Yeah, it's possible. Very unlikely, but it's possible. I think a 20x would be safer. But you're not going to be complaining if you get something under $2 and it goes to $50, $60. You're not going to be complaining. How likely do you think Trump wins? Camilla is Biden 2.0. I think Trump is, I hope he wins. It's not guaranteed, but the polls are saying he's going to win. If Camilla wins, genuinely, I think the elections will be fixed 100%. Because, look what they do. I think anyone with a brain now knows that Trump is going to win. Go ask the whole country in America. They're all voting for Trump. It's only a few retards, the fucking liberals that are voting for Camilla. That's it. There's not a lot of liberals around, trust me. Way more normal people than liberals. We have seen a big crash in September. That's not really a big crash, bro. That was a crash, but it wasn't really a big crash. Bitcoin went from 64K to 52K, I think it was. That's not really a crash. The type of crash we're looking for is a landing crash. That's most likely what happened in September, December. Generally, after the third rate call, you get a landing. Crash is maybe something like from 70K down to 49K. That's what you call a crash, bro. I call this consolidation. But let's see what happens. Because that's not guaranteed. That's why I'm mostly in the markets and some USDT in case that does happen. If it doesn't, I'll just buy new coins with it. Do I believe unemployment will be bullish in November? I don't think is impossible to say just because by that time the election will more or less be done. There's a chance that they could manipulate the data again, to give them a little bit of more chance. But they've already manipulated jobless claims a few days ago, which came in bullish for the elections, of course. But let's see, because I highly doubt if unemployment comes in bullish. I highly doubt the Fed will cut rates in November. I highly doubt it. Because if they do, it shows the Fed is still worried. Meaning that, and if they do cut, it will only be a 25 basis point rate cut. That's all it will be. be a 25 basis point rate cut. I highly doubt it would be 50 unless the unemployment data on the 1st of November comes in very bearish. But if it comes in bullish, just buy and just hold for it, just trade it. Emission schedule for Casper is 14 years, so miners will stay interested. Yeah, but they have to mine the blocks. The blocks get smaller and smaller, my friend. So yes, the emission might be for that long, but if the blocks are getting smaller and smaller, it's harder for people to mine it. It's just going to go somewhere else. What are your best free coins? 5K in each. Coins that are not so risky because they're similar. Yeah, so if you want top free coins, buy one in gaming, buy one in AI, or just buy 2 AI and buy 1 RWA. And then I don't know. I wouldn't put all of them in free coins. If you got 5K in each, that means you got 15K portfolio. Just buy like 7, 8 tokens and spread them a decent amount amongst all of them. That's what I would do, my friend. Don't just put all your money in free cards, in free coins. I don't think that's smart. Yeah, I can try. I can try. Yeah, I can try. Big Get is delisting Freeball. Yeah, because the volume is probably shit on Freeball. Freeball just ain't been doing nothing. All he's been doing is just dumping. So let's have a look. Big Get. Yeah, look at the volume. Oh, the volume's not too bad. It's 165K. It's not too bad, I guess. I don't know why they delisted them. It's not bad volume. What do I think about Moonwell? I wouldn't touch Moonwell, bro. Look, Casper will still do well, like a 5 to 10x, but it's just the people giving you ridiculous price prediction, like $10. Like $10 is not going to happen for Casper, bro. Maybe in the future, but I don't even think that's happening in the future, bro. I just don't think $10 for Casper will ever happen, ever. If it does, I still wouldn't give a fuck, bro. I just don't think it's going to happen. Thoughts on Nasana? I wouldn't touch Nasana now, but Nasana is a good project. This is what I'm saying, bro. I think oftentimes the pump, the blinds people, bro. They think is the best project in the world because it's pumping. Nasana is pumped. There's no point buying it now. It's too high a market cap as well. Radium $50 possible? No, bro. What's Radium's price prediction now? I mean, what's Radium's price now? Fuck no, bro. How is Radium gonna reach? No, bro. That's not gonna happen. Dexes don't perform that well, bro. No one is gonna care for Cas next cycle, only backholders. Exactly, bro. The same way no one cares about Cardano and only backholders. Yeah, I'm still alive. Good to see you, Nisa. Good evening, bro. Your wealth made a 5x of Virtue happy and sold today. My friend, I'm very happy for you made a 5x on Virtue, and I think it done very well. I was considering buying Virtue when it came out. Someone shared it to me and it looked quite interesting. But the problem was there was too many more coins were doing well. I just kind of skipped it and just forgot about it. But if you made a 5x on Virtue, I'm very happy for you, buddy. Virtue is still a good project. You think that's for the next bull run regulation? I don't think it will. No, I think if Trump is still in office, I don't really think it will. If it does, it will be friendly regulation. I think what they need to do is do something about this fucking meme epidemic, bro. That's the only thing I would say. These meme coin, because now people are just looking at crypto as like a casino. So they need to get rid of this meme coin epidemic, bro. And that's what's happening right now. Is a meme coin epidemic. I'm personally, I can't give you financial advice, Natty, but I'm 90% in the markets, probably a bit more now. I think I'm like 92, 93% in the markets. I DCA'd a decent amount yesterday. I'm keeping some USDT for some new picks I have. And then ultimately, if we get a decent crash in the next 2 months, I will ultimately buy the rest and then I'll just hold. And I'll do some trades here and there, maybe. Keep some money aside for some trades. That's it. Why did QE 2023 fly? Oh, because the reason we flew was because of the ETFs, and the reason all the liquidity went out of crypto was because during that period of time, there was a bunch of different factors. Unemployment continuously went up every month, so then that indicates a recession. So as unemployment goes up, people get scared of a recession, and if a recession is getting priced in or people are starting thinking about a recession, the last place people are going to keep their money is in altcoins. That's the last place anyone's going to keep their money if we go through a recession in an altcoin. Simple as that. And then another indicator that was quite concerning at that time was when gold broke out. Gold was around here back in March. I think it was literally over here. When gold just randomly broke out in March, that was a very good indicator that the top was in for Bitcoin. And that's when I started selling heavy. That was a big indicator. I was already selling because I took profits like any smart person do once you make good amount of money. But when this happened, I started moon bagging everything. Now most of my bags, well, it's around 50% of my coins now are moon bags. But gold is always a good indicator. This USDT trend line is another good indicator because if you zoom this out, every time it hits this long-term trend line, it always bounces. So let me zoom this out for you guys. So if you look at it, if you look at this, right, there's like this long-term trend line for USDT. Like over here, there's this very long-term trend line, and if you guys look at it throughout the years, even last cycle, every single time it's hit this long-term trend line, it always bounced. So when USDT dominance came down here and it hit this long-term trend line, it was very likely that it was going to bounce. It was very likely. So that was another indicator. But this is what I mean when I say QE. You see this? Do you guys notice how when this starts going up, what happens to total free? It starts trending up. And then when this happened, explosive, when the Fed starts adding to the balance sheet, look what happens to altcoins. It starts going parabolic. And we came down, and then we just ultimately put in a double top. And then that was it. This is a good indicator to know when to buy altcoins, my friend. And so far, you guys can see it's still going down, meaning the Fed is not going to, they've not added to the balance sheet. It could be the case where it comes down to like here, where they've taken, I don't know, like 30-40% of the money out of the system. And then, they could probably bounce back up here. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Can I put the name of the indicator? Yeah, I can do, my friend. Where is it? It's called Wall C. Let me type in chat. It's called Wall C, Federal Reserve Balance Sheet. Wall C, Federal Reserve Balance Sheet. I don't know if I can zoom into that. I don't really think I can. Oh, right here, look. This is the one, my friend. The Wall C, total assets held by the Fed. That's what that indicator is, my friend. Bro is fully invested in Zeta. Kids asked the same question 4 times. What was the second narrative? The first narrative was, what was the first narrative to pump last cycle or the second? I think it was gaming first. I'm pretty sure it was gaming first. I can't remember. It might have been Metaverse came somewhere in the middle. Layer ones were pumping throughout more or less because as the Ethereum gas fees got worse and worse, people start looking for other layer ones. So that was more or less pumping because the Ethereum gas fee was always shit. Might have been layer ones, I think. Cardano went to 100 million on only hype without smart contracts in 2021. XRP, yeah, because bro, you guys are just this is the Casper retardedness mentality, bro. This is literally the Casper mentality retardedness. You have to think, why did Cardano do so well? And why did it go to 100 million based on hype? And it wasn't just based on hype, it's because a lot of institutions were getting behind it at that time. Number one. Number two was because there was a narrative of Ethereum killing narrative. That Ethereum killing narrative was, at the peak. Number two, it was a super cycle. We're not going to get a super cycle this cycle. Very unlikely with all the headwinds ahead of us. So number one is it was a super cycle. So everything done very well. Number two, the narrative was there. The ETH killer narrative. We don't have that narrative anymore. I don't think ETH is going to get killed at all. So those two alone just kind of cancels everything these retards are saying. Though because Cardano went to 100 million, no small contracts. Well, that doesn't mean nothing. Everything was set up for Cardano to do well, and the narratives were there, the money was there. Everyone was at home doing fuck all because of COVID. They were stuck at lockdown, so everyone was trading, buying crypto. The stage was set for everything to do well. Then we don't have that same stage now. It's very unlikely we get a super cycle. Very unlikely we get a meme. I mean, a layer ones, an ETH killer narrative. That's all it is, bro. So don't listen to these people telling you losing a previous example. Well, the previous example is one in a million. That was literally 1 in a million. How everything was set up perfectly to have a super cycle. Everyone had a bunch of money. They loaned from the government. They had no mortgage payments, no nothing. They were just getting stimmy checks that they could have spent on anything, and they spent on crypto. So yeah, I don't even think your shit's in here, is it? Ban your shit. No worries, my friend. Troy, I appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate the kind words. Well, the liquidity, 6 cents is a non-age. Before I made some money, but I didn't take profits before Q1, Q4. Top dumps. Lost most of the games. Best to be in the group. Well, we're going to make more money anyways. It's not a problem. Tint, how you doing, my friend? I'm getting off now anyway, so 1 hour, 40 minutes is too much, bro. Yeah, I think the Casper Maxes are getting beyond. They always like to compare. I think so. I think that's not a bad move either. I think that's a good move. Because if you speak to I've always spoken to some Casper Maxes, and they always use this Cardano example. Cardano went to this, but it's like, bro, they don't understand the stage was set for Cardano to do really well. The stage is not set for Casper to do very well. We don't have no ETH killer narrative. We don't have the perfect market conditions like we had, where the Fed printed 10, 12 trillion. Those are like once in a blue moon events. You think the Fed is just going to print trillions of dollars out of the blue for no reason? Of course not. So I don't really. That's why everything went parabolic last cycle. Yep. This is exactly right, bro. Yep. Because once the mainnet goes live, all the stakers get their tokens and they're going to dump a decent amount. So you can potentially see a massive candle, like a red candle, and then that'll be a good time to buy that project. But that will be it for the stream. Those of you that have not liked, drop a like. Appreciate all of you guys for coming down. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. If you have, just drop a like. I would appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a lovely day. Quasar, my friend. I think you've made it at the wrong time. But I'll see you in the I'll see you in the Discord, bro.